Hey, Sasha. Welcome to Conversations with Celena. Well, good afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in right now. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight, and we have a returning guest. She is an amazing woman. Look, we've been backstage chatting, and it's always such a blessing to have a conversation with her. So I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight's episode, and that is Manners to Grace Incorporated. Miss Jalecia Richard and her husband Alvin Richard. Jalecia is having a brunch. It's going to be October the 7th and October the 8th. It is the VIP Royal Experience and the brunch experience. So be sure to go over and register for it. It is at www.femininitycare.com. Make sure you spell femininity right, because it was too many I's and too many N's, and I tried to register, and she was like, "You probably misspelled it." I looked at her, I said, "You probably right." So make sure you spell it correctly and you get in and get registered before all of the slots are gone. Um, she definitely gets before the Lord before she has any of these events, and it is truly an experience that you do not want to miss. So we just want to thank God for our sponsors. And if you would like to sponsor any episode, please let us know. We will be happy to get you into our summer special. It's a flyer, it's a video, and it's a 1 hour episode just like this one, to say we appreciate you and whatever topic we choose. So this topic tonight is behind the mask. I cannot wait to hear what Ms. Nadjia Ellis has to say. Um, y'all are in for an experience tonight on Conversations with Celena. Let me just tell you, and that's for free. So be thanking God that you can log on for free and get this experience. Because again, she is an amazing woman, and every time I leave her presence, and it's over the phone, y'all. I'm not talking about a face to face. Over the phone, I want to jump up and run around in circles in my house, jump out the car, whatever it is. So just prepare yourself for an awesome experience tonight, having this conversation behind the mask. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself, because can't nobody tell it like you can tell it.
Hello, 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 hello. It is an honor and a privilege to actually be here on Conversations with Celena. Happy that this lady even has time for a little old me to come on here and
Oh my
bless
goodness.
this show. Man, man, man. For those of you that don't know me, I am Najah Ellis Taylor. I am a native of Picayune, Mississippi. I live in Atlanta now. I am a business owner. I own Any Clark and Associates, which is basically a financial consulting business that I own. And I am a prophetess in New Life International Fellowship of Churches. This is, again, like I said, an honor and a privilege to actually be on tonight and to actually just come on and talk about a topic that we often hide. And then not just the women, but all of us, we hide. And it's so funny that today I didn't realize that today is actually the birth of my baby behind the mask, because 7 years ago I launched the campaign for Behind the Mask. September the 5th would actually be the actual day. But I was looking at my memories and I seen us flagging, like letting everybody know Behind the Mask is coming. So it is an honor and it is a privilege to actually be able to be here, and to say, hey, Behind the Mask, we still going with Behind the Mask. Um, and let me just give you a little bit of synopsis of what Behind the Mask is all about. Behind the mask is basically talking about the mask that we wear as people. You know, we put on a pretty face and we get our hair done and nails done and we come up on the scene and we look real good. But honestly, behind the mask, if you take all of this off, we all a mess. You know, and I can't say we're all, but I know for me, I was a mess behind the mask. You know, I'm smiling and I'm just so jovial when I come on the scene, but truthfully, I want to get in the car and cry my eyes out. Some days I want to throw the cover over my head and not get out of the bed. You know, I just came and did a whole photo shoot, did a whole podcast, stood up and preached the word, but yet mentally I'm a wreck. So
Right.
this is behind the mask. Hallelujah.
Yes. Well, girl, listen, you done preached the whole sermon just in that synopsis of it. Let me slide up. I feel like I'm so far behind. Um, Definitely, we do hide behind a mask and put on a facade, and it's for different reasons. So sometimes it's because we want to fit in, low self esteem. It's just different reasons that we try to hide behind what we truly have going on, fear of judgment. So it feels safe to put on a mask. Then it's tiresome though when you put that facade on and you got to wear it all day, just like you said, you're preaching, you're teaching, you're writing books, you're having engagements, and you want to jump in the car and boohoo and cry your eyes out. It's like, okay, it's time for me to be real, not only for other people, but for myself. I have to be true to myself. And so, this is very important because I know for me, I'm telling you now, I lived a life that was a depressed life, but nobody would ever know it because when I left out, I was like, "Hey, how you doing? How you doing, girl? Oh, I'm wonderful." Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Not that you want to be a complainer. That's not what we're saying. But it's time to peel back the layers, get to the root cause of what's going on, and
And
become.
deal with it.
Yes, deal with it and become the person that you're destined to be.
Correct. Even with that, um, the mask comes in so many different forms because some people come in the mask and they smile and hide and you look a certain way, but at the same token, it shows up in different areas of your life. You know, some people their mask is, they're a habitual shopper. Somebody else's mask is they're a cutter. Somebody else's mask may even be they, and to find happiness or something they deal with different men. It may be somebody else that's a shopper, somebody that's an overeater, somebody else that it shows up in different areas. We just
It
got people
does.
that pull their hair out, they cut their hair, they scratch, they bite. It does not matter because it shows up in different areas, but yet the cutter has the ability to put on the long sleeve and cover the cuts up. Or you
Mhm.
put on the clothes and you can't see it. I felt some type of way. I felt not loved. So I'm dealing with different men. So you can't see that I dealt with different men because heck, it's just for the night. So if he came and left, you don't know. I'm a habitual
Mhm.
shopper. I go different places and I buy all of this stuff that I know I don't need, but yet I buy it because it gives me a sense of belonging. So it's a lot of stuff that takes place that we don't always see. Like you said, somebody that's depressed and somebody that's really going through something mentally, generally we don't know it if they don't verbalize it, especially if they don't want everybody in their business, they don't want to be judged. And mental health is real, and I think that's the problem with us as a people. We don't want to deal with mental health because if I go to a psychiatrist, they think I'm crazy. If I want to sit down with somebody, I'm afraid they're going to share my business. And, I can't get deep with people because people are judgmental. But at the same token, sometimes you need somebody to talk to.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, yeah, that mask is something. That mask is, like I said, show up in all different places. And, I can honestly say my mask was, and when I got depressed, I was an overeater.
Me too.
I didn't do drugs. I was an overeater. I used to drink a lot. I'm being transparent. I'm stressed out. I done went, ate, had me a couple of mimosas, had me a couple of Long Island teas,
Girl,
and I know I
you
done
can't have too
overate.
many of those now. You cannot have too many of them Long Island, especially on the top shelf. He gets the top
Yes, ma'am.
shelf. Girl.
Yeah. So, like I say, it shows up in different areas with different people. But Could have somebody that you think is just, they got it all together. Prime example, I was looking, and it's so crazy because I was on, um for those that don't know, I work in IT, and I work for a dental imaging company. And I had the opportunity this week. I had somebody to call in and tell me, well, we really don't handle this. Our office manager generally handles this. She said, but she couldn't be here today because I don't know if you saw it on the news or not. Her boyfriend killed himself and their 3 kids. What? So she sent me the link, and I think they were in Ohio or somewhere. And he pulled in a random person's driveway, and he blowed his brains out and all 3 of their children. So imagine the mental anxiety that she's dealing with, and the guilt, and just the feeling of, was this my fault? We never know how a person feels. People grieve differently, and just the fact to say that he left this long rant to her saying, I did this because of you. This is your fault. So could you imagine a mother laying down, all 3 of my babies are dead because this man felt the need to take their life, and his too. Who
Wow.
do you hold accountable for that? Can you imagine the mask that she'll wear from now to the rest to the end of her life? And we know that God don't make no mistakes. We know that, but at the same token, in the lesson, it's not always, it don't always feel good. It don't always look good. So, it's just something that we have to deal with. And dealing with this mess, we have to get to a place of being okay with who we are, being okay with who God has called us to be, being okay with the imperfections, because imperfect means I'm perfect. So we have to be okay with that. We talk about different things, and we get to a place of looking at social media and looking at the idea of what social media deems to be good and deems
Perfect.
to be perfect. And I mean, this is no knock on nobody that does any kind of body contouring and all of that, because I can honestly say I was one of these people. I went and had weight loss surgery. And even with the weight loss surgery, if you're not disciplined enough to keep the weight off, the
You're
weight gonna
gonna
come
gain it
right
back.
back. The weight is going to come right back because you're not disciplined enough. And honestly, I did a good job with it until my dad passed, and I went into a depression, and I started eating, and I just,
Eating.
it took me to back to this pit that I was in. So we got to be able to talk about the mask that we wear and the stress, the depression. I seen something on Facebook this morning. Somebody posted, it's okay. You don't want a man that live with his mama, but you're cool with him that's still living in the house with his wife. Why do we deal with that? Why is it okay? Are we okay being a side piece? Are we okay being second best? That goes back to my goddaughter's thing, know your worth. Do you know what you're worth? I look on TikTok all the time and see all these beautiful weddings, and people saying they waited and this and that. But honestly, did you really wait, or is this just a show?
Mm-hmm.
We see all these nice songs, and they dress nice, and they look so beautiful today, when tomorrow all hell gonna break loose and they gonna tear the place up. You married him out of spite. You married him because somebody else wanted him. And I just did it to show that I could get him. But I mean, what good is you having him
What
if you
good?
just married him and y'all on a honeymoon and he texting somebody else?
Wow. That is the truth.
So I'm just saying, and y'all have to please forgive me because I'm streaming from my phone because for some reason we were having computer issues. But it's behind the mask. When you get to the altar and you standing before God and before man, and you got this preacher reading these vows, do you really mean it? Do you really love this person? Is it till death do you part? Or is it just a show? Did you do this for a show because you thought, oh, I'm gonna outdo somebody else's wedding? Oh, I'm gonna make sure that they know that he married me. He married you to put you into a life of misery. This man going upside your head left and right. And even if he don't go upside your head, he verbally abusing you. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you married him to say I'm married.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So
So you
this is
stepping
the mask that we wear.
on toes right now.
Huh?
I say you stepping on so many toes right
Yeah.
now.
But this is the truth. And this is
It
what
is
we
the
do.
truth. It is the truth. And we stay there for a very long time trying to fit in, like you said, trying to prove a point. Why would you have a life filled with misery, abuse, neglect, all kinds of things, rejection? Because anytime they go out and get the side piece, like you're talking about, you feel loneliness, depression. You don't even understand your self worth because how could you give yourself to this person and then they're out doing whatever it is that they do with whoever they're doing it with? But
Hmm.
you trying to prove a point, married this person.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you did was you were okay with, I'm committed to a life of misery. I'm committed to playing this facade, standing in this role that I know is not true. People come around and they're the happiest couple, but in all actuality, when everybody is gone, when everything is said and done, y'all are not happy. Y'all fighting. He disrespecting you. He calling you out of your name. This man has no respect for you. He has no respect for anything that and what they sometimes, even when you get into a relationship, when you unequally yoked, your partner has the tendency to hold you down. They don't want to see you get to the next level. So what they'll do is they'll undermine what you got going on. You want to be more than everybody. You trying to do this and you live above your means and really just try to talk your value down, when the
Hmm.
truth is what you don't value somebody else will treasure.
And now that is the truth. That is the truth. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And so
Right.
you have to be careful because eventually um you wake up and you be like, hold up, life gets to passing by really quickly and you decide. But as far as the man goes, I mean, because it seems like we're referring to women in this case hiding behind the mask. But then what
There's
about
men that hide behind the mask as well.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. What about them? The reason that they feel like that they need to go out and prove that they can get this one and that one and all this kind of stuff because they are dealing with insecurities. And a lot of times when you get to accusing the woman of doing all this stuff, the reality of it is everything that you're accusing her of doing is something that you're doing.
That you're doing. You are absolutely right. And even with the men, this comes, honestly, a lot of the stuff that happened with males basically is childhood trauma. So whether it be, you don't know how to show affection because you didn't have an affectionate mother. You don't know how to be a man because you've never been, around somebody that was an actual upright man. You don't know
Mhm.
how to, you weren't trained to that. So basically you're just following what you see. So, you can't get mad with even them with that, because at the end of the day, if all you saw was the male in your life was disrespecting your mom, and the male in your life was beating your mom, or the male in your life was even absent, what pattern do you have to follow behind?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's just the vicious cycle repeating itself. It's just them getting to a place of coming into the knowledge of what is the value of relationship. What is the value of being in covenant, with your wife, to be able to pray and cover your wife, really be the head of the house.
Mhm.
We got this whole thing of the women's movement and women are equal to men and this, that, and the third. And I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get some backlash from this, but in my book, we are not equal to men, because their words say the man is the head of the house. The man is the head of the house. In the house that I was raised in with my mom and dad, my daddy was the head of the house. Now, no, he didn't make as much money as my mama, but at the same token, he was the head of the house. We didn't go back and forth. If he said no, that was the end of it, because he's the head. And it was no decisions made in the house without, let's confer with him first. We
Mhm.
got away from that. That's why we've lost our children. We take our kids to church and we put headphones on their head and let them look at the tablet. They ain't get no word in them. So why can you get mad when these kids grow up and become school shooters? How can you be mad with them? Because you failed them. I mean, and honestly, I could say from my end, sometimes we give them too much. We give them too much to where it's hard for them to leave the nest. And you get kind of tired of, listen, I got this grown person standing in the house with me, not doing absolutely nothing, but yet I smile like it's cool, it's okay. No, it's not okay, because guess what? If something happens to you, then what happens to your children?
Right,
The
right.
world don't care. The world gonna eat them up and spit them out.
Mhm. But you're over in a lot of cases, you're overcompensating for the absent parent. So you're trying to fill them with things, fill that void with these
Correct.
things like the tablet that they have in service with the headphones on, listening to God knows what. And then when they act out, you're like, well, where did that come from? But it's because of what they've been listening to and
Hmm.
feeding themselves. You eat unhealthy stuff, you listen to unhealthy stuff, you watch unhealthy stuff, it's gonna come out.
It's going to come out in a negative way. You
It's
are
gonna
absolutely right.
come out.
And the mask that we wear basically is it's kind of like basically a reflection of our children. We put on this mask and we dress them up, and sometimes we do all this stuff, and they got the best clothes and all the name brand. And welcome, Pastor Tracy. That's one of our campus pastors from Virginia.
Pastor,
But
he's beautiful.
the thing is, we dress these kids up and we put them in our name brand, and then we give them a sense of kind of knowing their value to make them feel like they're worth something. But at the same token, you don't value anything. So this is because of us, because like you say, we've overcompensated and we don't give them the opportunity to actually appreciate anything that we've done, because instead of it being appreciated, it goes from appreciation to entitlement. That's our
Mhm.
fault. We wear a mask, and the mask that we wear is basically we got it going on and it's all good. And the truth is we're drowning in debt, just trying to put on a show for people and actually make people feel like we got it and we're doing good when I'm struggling, I'm drowning. I don't know what the next meal is coming from, but instead of me going to take care of these bills that I got, I'll go buy a Birkin bag just to show you that I can. Come on.
Mhm.
Take this mask off, sis. Sit down somewhere. Get your finances in order. Get you a prayer life. That is the main thing, because even with you not having a prayer life, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And I could say this from standing from a person that has been on both sides of the fence. I've been all the way in ministry and stepped all the way out of ministry. Straddled the fence. I did all of that, but at the same token, it don't work. My way don't work. I don't. I have to be honest with myself and say, hey, listen, you got to take all this stuff off. You got to get to a place of being comfortable with you, because that's the problem. We don't get comfortable with ourselves. And it's funny because last weekend I had the opportunity to do empowering words at our church and our campus in Florida, and we I had went to a revival with my apostle, and she was talking about the Holy Ghost being the governor of your soul. And with the Holy Ghost being the governor, the word governor had just caught my attention, and I walked. On Sunday I broke down what the governor does. And the craziest part about it, and I'm not going to get all into that, but it was one word that stuck with me. The governor has the ability to grant reprieve. So it made me want to know, what is the Webster's dictionary version? What's what is their interpretation of reprieve? And
Mhm.
their interpretation of reprieve was to cancel or postpone a punishment. And the punishment is usually death. you know. And I said, and I thought about everything that I've been through, everything that has happened, but God loved me enough to grant me reprieve. You understand? When I was young, before I had children, and was in the street and just did whatever I was big and bad enough to do, God granted me reprieve. I had two preemie babies and died having both of them, but God granted me reprieve and gave me the ability to actually live to see them become grown-ups.
Wow.
And even here lately, I'm having seizures, and they just came out of the blue. But at the same token, God granted me reprieve to be here, to actually get everything in order, get my life in order, to be able to stand before people and say, hey, this ain't a good road to be on. And I don't know when he's not going to grant me reprieve and tell me, hey, time is up. Because we all have an appointed day and time. So the only
Mhm.
thing that I could do at this point is actually just try to get myself together, and actually be an example for my children. Because, if we're going to be, if we expect something different from our children, we have to show them different. And we have to live a life in front of them so that exemplifies that I trust God. And I just want to give my quick testimony, because like even behind the mask, behind the mask came from so much stuff that has happened in my life. And I can honestly say, I am a product of child molestation. I was molested when I was a child, and that molestation shows up in so many different facets. It does. It makes the child promiscuous. It makes the child combative. It does so much different stuff, But at the same token, God granted me reprieve through all of that, you
Mhm.
know. And I had the ability to actually sit down and write in my book to talk about it. and talk about just how, things show up in different ways, different shapes, different forms, but at the same token, you got to trust God through the process. I flew to Florida last week, and then even going to Florida, they lost my luggage. They still haven't found my luggage, and I'm back home. But I was in Florida 8 days, and it's funny because the days is eight. Eight is the number of completion. I was there 8 days, and I'm big on taking this seizure medicine if I don't take nothing else. But even in the midst of that, God had to remind me, if we're going to preach about by his stripes we are healed, I got to stand on that word and press this word back to him, because you gave me this word. And in these days that I'm here, I'm trusting you to hold these seizures. I don't want to do this with these seizures no more. You know what I need. You said by your stripes I'm healed. So I'm giving your word back to you. The word say it'll never come back void. And it has not, because even in those 8 days while I was there, I didn't have any issue. I haven't had any issue, none of that. But again, we got to get to a place of knowing the word, living the word, and let's walk it out. And even with that, with our children, we can't always interject when stuff is happening, because we have to allow stuff to happen to them. Just because this is a part of the course. Like I said to you, and I'll say it on air. Conversations with Celena is going to the next level. And I'm saying this to you prophetically on air so the world can hear. It's going to the next level. This will be another Wendy Williams show. And don't get in your feelings about who don't support this show, who think this show is mediocre, who thinks they don't understand why you keep doing it, or even why you need to change the blueprint. God gave you the foundation, follow it. If he sends somebody to help tweak it and take it to the next level, fine, but you got the blueprint of it. That's just like you got the blueprint of your house. But at the end of the day, if somebody want to come in and change the vanity or change the lighting, that's fine, but the floor plan don't change.
I'm reaching up and grabbing it, girl.
Yeah, the floor plan don't change, and that's the problem with us. We get so, people can sway us different ways, and you're supposed to be going left, but somebody say it look right going right, so you may need to go right, and you bust this right, but you missed the whole left. You knew better. You knew better, and all it's gonna do is take you to a dead end, turn you around, and still take you back left. So at the end of the day, you know what's happening. You know what needs to transpire. And everybody ain't gonna go with you, because when you start elevating, elevation brings separation. You know, and you got to be cool with that, because on this journey, everybody can't go with you. Everybody can't live in the altitude where God is taking you. Everybody can't breathe in high air. They can't. Some people can't live above the trees, and God trying to take you out of the universe. So imagine you trying to bring them to the cloud. They can't live past the trees, let alone get to the clouds, and he trying to take you out of space. So you got to be in a place with being okay with everybody can't go. Yes, I know you. Yes, I'm cool with you. But at the same token, you can't go with me. I have to cut my conversation with you, because evil conversation corrupts good. Um, it just corrupts your whole persona. You got to be okay with being by yourself. Sometimes it needs a season in the wilderness. Sometimes it needs a season to unplug from everything and everybody. And like I told you before, even with taking the girls trip is just unplugging from everything and everybody. Turn your
Mhm.
phone on do not disturb. The only people that can get through is your children, only if this is an emergency. So that's why you have to be okay with being by yourself. Sometimes you got to take trips by yourself so you can hear God in these trips. Make sure, let me show you something. You get these notebooks.
Uh-oh.
My phone
Uh-oh.
is ringing. I'm sorry. But you got to get notebooks. I am a firm believer in having notebooks. I have notebooks for days, because I'm writing when God is talking. I need to hear what God is saying. So that way, when I'm writing, I can actually go back to it and look at it. Because sometimes you get so much information, it's like it's so much, I don't even know which way to go, or how to even put this into context. And sometimes God gives you a forecast of what's to happen. It's not happening now. But he said, listen, I am a wealth distribution center. I stand on that word. God gave me that word years ago. I am a wealth distribution center. So I'll be able to bless somebody. My adult daycare is coming forward. My transition house is coming forward. So I ain't worried about none of this, because I know what God said. And we stand on the word, but at the same token, we got to be okay with when this thing comes to pass, everybody can't go. Everybody won't see my vision. Everybody not gonna support me. You know, and even and Ambassador Tracy knows that season of being in the wilderness, it ain't a good season. God will put you in an unfamiliar place, drop you there. But in this unfamiliar place, I need you to start picking up what's here. I need you to look around and be able to document everything that's happening, you know. And that's why I said, even behind the mask, stop trying to fit in places that you've outgrown. Stop trying to fit in with people that you know this ain't even my company. I'm just here because I want to be a, I want to feel liked. I want to be a part of the group. This ain't your group no more. You outgrew them. You outgrew the group. I mean, and this is not just for you, but this is for everybody that's looking for something different. Everybody that wants to go to the next level. Because everybody can't see your vision because God didn't give everybody the same vision.
That's right.
I'm in Atlanta right now, pretty much by myself. I got family here, but as far as my vision goes, I'm not expecting support from anybody with my vision. I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking for a hand up. I'm looking for information. I'm looking for everything that God has for me in this season. I ain't fussing with nobody. I ain't competing with nobody. The only person I'm in competition with is me from yesterday. That's the only person I'm competing with, and that's me from yesterday. Because listen, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
That's
I
right.
want to get I want to get right what I wronged yesterday. When you pissed me off in the grocery store yesterday and was disrespectful, God forgive me because I could have took your head off. So don't let me be that person. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But we have to be okay with being who we are. Take this mask off. Stop trying to please people because people don't have a heaven or hell to put you in. They don't. But yet, everybody has something to say about what you're doing, how things are happening, and we mask real good and we do all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, what is it to put all this stuff on, and then when you come home and you unmask, the weight of the world is still on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and
So.
then and then the weight of the world is also on to your children because you don't put that energy where you're angry, like whoever was in the grocery store, whoever cut you off on the interstate. You come home and then your children, they suffer at the hands of whatever it is that you want to dump. And so it's really unfair to them, and it's unfair to you to live like that because it's exhausting. We talk about two-faced people. In reality, you go in the mirror every morning and look at yourself and you don't even know who you are or who you have become. Because I was listening to this book, and the man was basically saying, stop saying stupid stuff out of your mouth, because there's really power in what you're saying. And we need to watch what we say, because whatever we saying, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy that we don't even recognize that it's happening. So you wake up one day and you're in the mirror and you're like, who am I and how did I get here? And so he said he did an experiment. I think he listened to like some music, some negative type music, and
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe some news, some biased news.
Mm-hmm.
He said day 27, he is like the mindset coach of professional people. He
Mm-hmm.
said, but day 27, it broke him. And
Mm-hmm.
it was an attempt to prove what you listen to and what you do is who you become.
That
And
is
you can
absolutely right.
for so long, because like the narcissist, he can only or she can only hide who they are for so long, and when you're around them you start to see these red flags poke out
Mm-hmm.
because even though we mask it really well, you
It'll
can't hide
show up.
it all the time. It
Yeah.
shows up. It shows up because we will cut up, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We'll cut up and be like, uh-oh, forgive me, Lord, real quick.
Right. Yeah, but we have like in this generation, this and it was so funny because I had the opportunity to actually hang out with one of the pastors that's in Florida, one of the campus pastors. And the one of the campus pastors, she's a millennial. And I got so tickled because I'm listening to her, but at the same token, I'm listening to exactly what she's saying because, sometimes I don't want to, I want to come to church and I want to be fed the word. I want to be spoon fed the word. And we have a generation right now that okay, so if people are speaking in tongues, why are they speaking in tongues? If people doing all this shouting and dancing, why? What does this, why are they doing this? And especially if you wasn't raised in a holiness church, you coming from a Baptist church,
You
This is foreign language.
mm-hmm.
What's happening?
You ready to run out the church.
So with that being said, she says she's a millennial. She want to be able to come to church and get the word, but I want the word to where I can understand it. Stop telling me this, thus, that, and those. Tell me, listen, this is what happened. Break it down into a context where I can understand it right now, and not taken away from the hymns and everything that got us through. But at the same token, we have evolved past the hymns. It's not that we're past the hymns, but we need to add to the hymns because we're dealing with a different generation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was tickled because I'm like, wow. I never thought about how people feel when they come. You know, you up here shouting and preaching and doing all of this, and then at the same token, you're ready to slit your wrist because you're dealing with depression. How can you speak to me from a place that you're not in? You're not in. You got to show up. You got to have a prayer life. You got to be able to really, really deal with people's demons. When they come to you. And honestly, I am this type of person. I try to make myself available to any and everybody, but at the same token, you got to guard your ear gate because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like you said, they will vex your spirit. We have a prayer call Monday through Friday, and if you guys are on my Facebook page, I challenge you to get on that prayer call. The prayer call starts at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's 6 a.m. Central Time, but it's Monday through Friday. This prayer call, you guys, has changed my life. This prayer call has been going for the last 7.5 years. We started this prayer call with myself and my apostle. No lie. And it was just for something that I was going through at the time. It was just me and her. And we decided that we were going to do a prayer call for 1 week. For 1 week, just as I'm going through my dilemma. And to say that this prayer call has extended 7.5 years, this prayer call has birthed out 4 churches. This same prayer call, we still doing it Monday through Friday. We still get results. We have had people that come to the prayer call that has been all but dead, where the doctor gave up on them and they praying on the prayer call today. So we definitely have to get to a place of being able to speak to people from a place and not just speaking down to them. And every time you see them, you want to beat them up with the Bible and you want to tell them that they're going to hell and everybody is condemned to hell. When that's not the case, because at the end of the day, it said all of our righteousness is as filthy rags. So you can't just beat them up, but you have to come from behind this mask and actually find out what's happening with people. Be a listening ear to them. When this mama don't know if she want to keep these kids or get rid of them, dump them out. Be a listening ear to find out why. What is it that has disconnected you from your children? Why don't you want to be in this marriage no more? What's happening with the communication between you and your husband, and even for the husband, for him to say that he's not attracted to his wife no more. What happened? What happened with the spark? Where did that go? We
Mm-hmm.
stay in stuff and we hide it behind a mask, but at the same token, it manifests in other ways. Even with men, you know, um, they stay in these marriages. You're not happy with the women. The woman doesn't do what she did to get you. So of course you're gonna step out and you're gonna do whatever you want to do. Because you look in search of what she did to get you, but she's not fulfilling her wifely duties to keep you. We get in church and all of a sudden now you're too holy. You don't want to sleep with your husband and you don't want to do the things that you did, but the words say the bedroom is undefiled when you're married. But yet you have a wife that is so holy that she don't want to be with you no more. She want to be in prayer meeting. Everything that y'all do is church concerned. I understand all of that, but at the same token, you got to remember still that you have an obligation to your husband. And we forget that, because we feel like, well, we got on the right track, so we should be doing this, that, and the third, and we should live like we 80 years old. When that's not the case, you got to remember, you got to do what you did to get your husband, to keep your husband. So I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of stuff that we do and we don't say, we hide, we lie about it. It's bad. We have teenagers that's suicidal. you know We need to be talking to these teens. We need to be able to reach them. We don't need TikTok to be their outlet. We don't need Facebook Live to be their outlet. We need real people in their ear, giving them good information instead of, I don't want to talk to my mama because I know she finna go off. I can't talk to my auntie because she gonna beat me up with the Bible, but they need to have people where they can actually have a sounding board where they not judged. Come and talk. Let's decompress. Let's just kind of dump everything. Why is this happening? What has happened? Because sometimes stuff happened in the family that they don't want to share, and it's hidden. And it's funny because, I it's something that I look at all the time and say that, it's funny how people will get mad for um lies, but yet you'll hide the child molester. You get mad because a lie has been told in the family, but yet you'll hide the child molester. It's okay for the child molester to come, but when the child actually exposes the child molester, instead of you dealing with the child molester, you don't want the child around because the child is a liar. You understand? And this is not something that just happened in certain families. I mean, this happened a lot with people. You
It
know,
happens a
you want to
lot.
break my marriage up because you just a liar because you see me happy. You're not happy. You're not in a happy situation. I mean, what happens when you have the cousin whose husband is making passes at you and you say it to your cousin, but then you and your cousin fall out, but yet you stay with this man that just made a baby on you. You're still with him. You still with him, but yet you hide behind this mask like it's okay. It's not
Mhm.
okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. So that's why I say behind the mask, basically, we need to come from behind the mask and be truthful with ourselves. Wash your face, get clean, come clean with yourself. Stand in the mirror before yourself. The words say, speak things that are not as though as if they were, and you prophesy over your own life. Don't stand in the line waiting for nobody to lay hands on you and prophesy on you. Do it to yourself. Get up and decree and declare today is going to be the best day of my life. Get up today and decree and declare, hey, this is going to be a good day. Money coming from the north, south, east, and west. Man, blessings beyond, beyond, beyond today. These people finna pull up that I don't even know that's gonna sow into my business. People gonna sow into my ministry. You got that testimony.
Yes, yes, yes. I need to send this video to her too. I need
People
to.
will give, but you gotta know with an assurance that God will send a stranger to bless you. God will send what you need. God always has a ram in the bush, but you gotta be okay with the ram because sometimes God send a ram and it don't look like what
It
you
don't
think
look
it's
like
supposed to
what we
look
think
like.
it's supposed to look like. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, God will send a gift, and you think the gift's supposed to be packaged up nice and Dolce
And
and
it's in a
Gabbana
paper
bags and
bag.
boxes and all of that, and He sent it to you in a grocery store bag, and it looked like it's got doggone grease on it.
Wrinkles, just bacon grease all on the paper bag.
But He'll send you exactly what you need.
Exactly what you need.
He'll send you exactly what you need. So I challenge everybody that's on this live this week, be specific when you pray. Get just if it ain't nothing but 15 minutes. Give God 15 minutes of your time to just say, Lord, thank you. Just pray and just ask God to cover you and your family, coming and going. School is going back right now. My biggest prayer is God cover these babies in school from these mass shootings. Cover the faculty that's actually even putting their life on the line because honestly, we praying about the folks on the outside, but heck, we don't know what's going on in the kids' minds on the inside.
Hmm.
So pray and cover the faculty, cover the staff. Just let's turn this thing around because it's like we are in perilous times. And it's sad, but at the same token, this is the life that we're living in. And I hate to just harp on that, but at the same token, we got to get to a place of this week, just for 7 days. I challenge you: get you a journal, start writing, write what you feel, write what you think, write what you hear. Just start writing. Get to a place of giving God 15 minutes of your time. You got 30 minutes to get on Instagram. You got 45 minutes on Facebook. You got 2 hours on TikTok. You got all this time to do absolutely nothing. This time doesn't save your life. This time doesn't bring any nothing, you know, but you don't have time for God. But yet you expect God to wake you up in the morning. You expect God to start you on your way. You expect God to show up in places that you didn't know he was there. You expect God, you expect God, you expect God, but yet you neglect God.
Okay, girl.
So, and and I could say this, from a place of I was there. I got time for everything else and everybody else, but God, dog, that prayer corner so empty. I ain't got nothing in there. I ain't been in there. I ain't did nothing. I'm just busy on the move here, there, here, there, here, there. And God will get you to a place where let me just sit you still, so that way you'll know that I am God. And I honestly feel like that's what has happened even with me with the seizures, because right now I don't trust nobody but him for this to pass. And I trust that this will pass. This is just a trick of the enemy, to just sit me down and make me be quiet. Don't travel, don't do this, don't do that. But I rebuke that, baby. Let that bird go up. I promise you I'm gonna get on it and I'm out of here. Even though they lost my luggage. But but yeah, we have to get to a place of knowing and with an assurance that we don't have to wear a mask no more. We have to get clean and get real with ourselves and know our worth, because I think that's what happens the most of the time. We don't know the value that we bring. We don't know the value of us. We don't know the value of just being a good person, you know. Sometimes you not even knowing it. You could walk into a place and not even have a conversation with somebody, but just because of the spirit that's on you, you're lighting up somebody's day while you crying and you just got out the car boo-hooing, but just because you showed up for somebody else. You understand? Because I ain't gonna lie, I've had days to where, babe, I done cried them eyelashes off, the wig was laying on the seat and everything. But at the same token, when I got to where I'm going, you understand, let me pull myself together. I put my mask on.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
put the mask back on. But then even with me putting the mask on, my inside is toe up. I'm a wreck. My house is in a wreck right now. I'm feuding with my kids, me and my husband going through it. I got a lot of stuff happening, at the time, but at the same token, what happens when you show up for somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and I could honestly say, like, even with our fifth Sunday with them losing my luggage and stuff, I went there with absolutely nothing but the clothes on my back. So I knew that even with me doing that, God was going to have to show up, and God had to have a word for me,
Mm-hmm.
just because I went looking any kind of way. I don't have no luggage. Only thing I have is the clothes on my back. I went and bought stuff from the department store just to be able to go to church. And I bought everything too big and got in the room and everything was too little.
Too small.
That ain't even the crazy part. I'm headed to the airport to pick up Pastor Tracy that's on this line. We get to the airport and the shoes that I was wearing toe up. So I don't even have shoes to put on my feet. You understand? But I
Mm.
meant I'm still going. I'm still gonna show up. Honey, I done bought a freaking small shirt. Lord knows I ain't been a small in a long time. In a long time. But you know what I did? I squeezed down in that small shirt. I put that two little blazer on. I put them high water pants on with some socks on my feet. And when I walked down in that service, I walked in that service with authority to say, God, I'm here. God, I'm here. I don't feel the part. I'm uncomfortable, but use me.
Mm-hmm.
And even for me to be able to tell God use me in that service, God used me tremendously because I had the opportunity to actually minister to somebody that was going through something, and the doctor had gave them a diagnosis that you basically a death sentence. And for me to even deal with this person, I don't know who this person is. We in Florida. I don't know any of these people. They're just here. But I'm obedient to the Holy Ghost. So God said, minister to him. When I started ministering to her, I see this lady crying, but I don't know why you crying. And honestly, I don't even know what all was said because I allowed the Holy Ghost to speak, not me.
Mm-hmm.
When everything was said and done, the lady went to the podium only to tell us that she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. When I tell you I couldn't stop crying because at the end of the day, this lady is diagnosed with breast cancer. God, you would use me, a person that don't look the part, a person that ain't even dressed in clergy, a person that just a regular old degler. You would use me to
Mm-hmm.
come and minister to this person that you know exactly where her mind is. You know what she's going through, but you had enough grace on me to use me to go and speak to this person. So even with my mask, God didn't care about my mask. Come on, look at a ratchet mess. Come on in here. Come on in here. Can I trust you? And the thing is if he can trust me in a desolate place where I'm uncomfortable, an uncomfortable place, why I could trust you now.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me feel some type of way. And that night when we seen the message that she sent, we have a pastors and leadership group that we're all in, and our apostle actually dropped a message in the group just saying, how thankful she was, and just the things that had been said and spoke over her life, and how she wanted to get connected to the ministry and all of that. Funny, when I tell you that Holy Ghost said, "This is why I made you look like this. This is why I sent you here. This is why I ain't want you to have no shoes on, dressed up with your Prada shoes on, and you coming in here with your Saks Fifth Blaze and all of that. I don't need all of that. I just need a willing vessel." And I
Mm-hmm.
was willing to go that day.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just move from being um, what the world sees as acceptable and good, and get to a place of, I'm going through hell. I need somebody to talk to. Mentally, I'm broke. You know, it's nothing like a heartbreak that you have experienced that you ain't never had the chance to actually to grieve. So whether this be a loss of a loved one, whether this be a break in a relationship, regardless of what it is, you got to hold it all together. When the truth is, at some point, I want to fall apart.
All apart.
I want to fall apart because I've held it together for so long, and now I'm this person that I really ain't. Like you say, wake up one morning and you look in the mirror and don't know the person looking back at you. How did
Uh-huh.
I get here?
Yeah.
So, it's just, man, when I tell you God is about to do something abundantly in this last quarter, this is the eighth month. The eighth month is new beginnings. This is a new beginning,
Mm-hmm.
for the end of the year. And we got to reach up like you did and grab everything that God has promised us. We got to be in the right posture, in the right position to
Mm-hmm.
grab everything that God has promised us, because at the end of the day, God ain't the hold up, we the hold up. We out of line. We at
Girl.
the wrong address. He sent you stuff, but you was at the wrong address.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah. So, it's just we got to get to a place of being okay with, um, this is my turn. This is my season. I waited. Don't worry about people saying you think you better than me. You done got beyond you got beside yourself. You think you all of that. No, it ain't that. I waited my turn. It's my turn now. It's
Mm-hmm.
my turn now, and I'm gonna celebrate me. When you see my face, make sure you remember this face. Remember my name, because the world will know me. And that's the attitude that you got to adopt. And I'm saying this to you prophetically. See my face, no sunshine, no conversations with Celena. Think about it. You people be happy to have coffee with Celena. That is your next women's thing, y'all. We're gonna do coffee. Coffee with Celena. This is your, I'm dead serious. You gotta do the coffee with the coffee and conversation with Celena. You understand? So that way you do a breakfast, a brunch, or whatever, and you just do a round table with a bunch of women. You got a bunch of women right there in Picayune that are pastors and leaders that will love to sit down and actually have a conversation about real life stuff, and actually implement the word with what's happening, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I would just say set it up before the year's over. Watch the outpour, just like you went to the thing that you went to last weekend, and how you were blessed. Just with you being a facilitator, you don't know what God's gonna do for that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Because we've actually already started meeting like once a month to go have dinner, but that would be awesome, like on Saturday or Saturday mornings, maybe Sunday mornings, I'm not sure.
Do
But
it
to have
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, yeah, coffee with
Coffee and conversation with Celena.
coffee and conversations. Wow.
You don't know how many people you are blessed, and even with you coming on this live, this is posted everywhere. This is streaming mainstream. You understand? So even with this streaming mainstream, at the end of the day, the world sees it. This ain't localized to one area. The world sees it. We have a radio station with New Life. New Life is, and I don't even have the information, but I'll make sure that I send it to you. But our um, our church has a radio station to where we're going to be broadcasting. Well, he is actually broadcasting now, but I'm actually going to be on there some days with the Let's Talk. Let's Talk is my podcast. I haven't did anything with Let's Talk in a minute just because I've been so busy taking care of other stuff. But God had to remind me I gave you that for a reason. And don't get beside yourself because you're so busy. Because um, I'll take it right away from you. You know, even with my credit repair business, I own a credit repair business and it's a very lucrative business. But at the same token, I have been dormant with that because I became overwhelmed with it. And I had
Mm,
so many people that I was doing, you know, and when you recruit people to try to help in your business, you understand what she's put it down there for it. So that's the radio station. So you guys make sure you go and tune into our radio station. It's Monday through Friday, 24 hours a day. It's a regular radio station. It's an internet radio. They have good conversation on there Monday through Friday. So you guys go on there. Like I said, I'm gonna be on there some days with Let's Talk, and we're gonna talk about different topics, just kind of like conversations with Celena. We're gonna talk about just how did you get to this place? We're going to talk about how do you get delivered from alcoholism? How do you get delivered from being a whoremonger? How do you get delivered from being a liar, a cheater, a backstabber? What do you need to do to get your business started? And it's not just all about different stuff, but it's basically information radio. So that way it has music, but there's information there too. So, we're going to talk to the educators because a lot of our staff that's in NLI is teachers. So we're going to talk about their frustrations and their daily battles of dealing with different personalities. Could you imagine sitting in a room with 28 people and everybody got a nasty attitude or somebody having a bad day, and these kids are really just acting a fool today. And it's not even so much that they acting a fool, but heck, you left home and your children was acting a fool. So like you said, the misplaced energy, you
mm,
know, you bring it with you. So we're gonna talk about all of that. So, but like I said, I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen with this show. I'm looking forward to just being able to say, hey, I had the opportunity to sit on that show before she became the next Wendy Williams.
girl,
Um, Seriously,
yes.
I am. Like I said, I am very grateful to even just share the same space with you with this coffee and conversation with Celena. Man, this finna be major. And the good thing about the coffee and conversation with Celena, this is a pajama party early in the morning. This is only a women's thing. Now, this is not lingerie. This is a pajama party. Don't come with your bonnets. Get your hair done, but have your cute pajamas on. Um, just because we're gonna actually sit around and do a round table and talk about what's happening in the community. What would you like to see happen? What would you like to see happen with our young ladies? With these teenagers. At the end of the day, they have to have a role model. TikTok and Facebook can't be their role model. Every little girl shouldn't be looking to save their money to go to the DR to get their butt done. Because there's so much more to life than just your physical. What's in your head?
Yes, it is. It's so much more to you as a person. Like you said, it wasn't about the outfit and the shoes whenever you went in, because sometimes we're so hidden behind the mask, the clothes, the shoes, the bags, that we appear like we're not touchable, not unapproachable by
Mhm.
people that really are struggling, and they're looking for someone to help them get out of that rut. And they look at you and feel like, well, she wouldn't understand,
Mhm.
not knowing that you just cried them lashes off up in the car, not knowing that you done charged up your bank account just trying to look the part, but not
Mhm.
really being able to afford to be there. But it makes you feel better and it makes you feel important. But all of those feelings are temporary, because even while you have them on, you might feel good when you first put them on. But those thoughts, if that mind is not right, if that heart is not right, nothing you can put on, no makeup, no shoes, no purse, none of that can make you truly feel and be okay. It
Correct.
comes time, it comes with knowing who you are, whose you are, so that you can walk in that purpose. And it's so sad. And maybe I shouldn't say sad, but I do feel kind of sad to know that it took me so long to put my shoulders back, hold my head up high, and start to walk in my purpose. And even then, sometimes you stumble and you look down, and it's like, no, 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 don't get distracted, stay focused,
Mhm.
keep your shoulders back, keep your head up, and keep your eye on the prize. Because once
Mhm.
you start looking to who doing what, when, what, how, and looking down and all this kind of stuff, you get distracted Your
Mm-hmm.
luggage be one place and you be another place, but you got to keep your eyes. That's like you can't go throw your luggage over there on the belt. You got to keep it with you
Keep it with you at all
anywhere.
times.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, because honestly, sometimes the baggage that we bring is just overkill. We don't need it, but it makes us feel good because we brought all this stuff with us. And you brought 500 outfits for 2 nights. Why did you do that? Because it made you feel good. And
Yes,
I just throw that a dig at somebody that's watching, but they always overpack. They bring too much stuff, and it's like, how many days are we going to be here? 2 days, but yet you got 13 outfits to change into. You're not
that's
going to even
lost.
wear two of
13
those outfits,
outfits that's lost.
right? Don't bring all this stuff.
Don't
Don't
bring.
bring all this stuff with you. But at the same token, it's just, we got to get to a place that we reach our young ladies. So our young ladies are not in their 40s to where they realize the value of them. They to where they realize who they are and whose they
Yes,
are.
yes.
We gotta be able to talk to them from a stance of I was there.
Mhm,
I'm not preaching. I'm not talking down to you. I'm talking directly to you because this is a place where I was. This is a place that God delivered me from, but it took a long time. And even with me getting delivered, did I go back and forth? Yes, indeed. I ain't finna sit here and act like, oh, I got saved and I've been sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, and then I backslid. And yeah, I sat down. And yeah, I took a sabbatical. And it has been a constant fight. But at the same token, I know that even with the fight, the fight is worth it because, again, it's a bunch of children behind you watching. It's a bunch of young ladies. Like you say, we get dressed all up and we got all this stuff and we look the part, but yet you look like that you are unapproachable when the
mhm,
truth, what you're dealing with, I just came out of. What you're dealing with, I'm still battling with. Let me be a battle buddy to you. But because I look unapproachable. I look like I got it all together. I look like, this is just, oh my God, this is so beneath me. And in truth, this is right where I'm at. So we got to get to a place of, and I'm not saying don't dress nice and look nice.
I
That's
was
not
just
what I'm
about
saying.
to say that. It's not that we're not
That's
saying
not what I'm
don't take
saying.
care of
But
yourself.
as far as your persona, when you show up, how are
Mhm,
you looking? Are you approachable? Are you walking in with your nose up like you better than these people? Or are you willing to take them shoes off and cry your eyes out with these people? And
mhm,
it's funny that we would even get to this place because I actually had the ability this week to see my apostle as a midwife. And what I mean by a midwife is I have pictures of her just doing different stuff. And this week they have a dog and she treats her dogs like kids. But anyway, one of her grand dogs was having her first litter of puppies. And I watched her go in the closet with this dog and sit on the floor as a midwife to this dog. And I have pictures of her actually sitting on the floor with her only daughter, giving birth to her granddaughter when she was in labor with her granddaughter. And one of her spiritual children that had just came back to the church, she was on the floor with them. And the Holy Ghost had me to get all three of them pictures and put them together, and look at the midwife that you sit under. Somebody that's birthing something, somebody that's there waiting to see what's gonna happen. And I'm gonna stand with you to the end of this. You know, and that's the midwife that every one of us need to become. It don't feel good, it don't look good. Sometimes it get on your nerves, and they call you a million times. But guess what? They're only calling you because they're in a comfortable space with you. They're only calling you because they feel like this is the only outlet I have. Because if they had another outlet, they definitely wouldn't call you. If they had somewhere else to go, you would be the last option. So you need to thank God for that grace and that space that somebody has given you to even be in their life, to even share with you. I have one person that calls me all the time. And some days I be like, girl, listen, I'm asleep. But that Holy Ghost convicts me like crazy because at the end of the day, you sleep. What happens if you pick up the phone and you see she blowed her brains out? What happens if you pick up the phone and they say she overdosed? What happens if you see she got in the car and drove and killed herself and them children because you ain't had time to talk? So it takes me out of the space of this is not about me. This is so much bigger than just me. Yeah, I have days that I want to get on the phone and cry and do all of that. And it's funny because my apostle called me the weeping prophet because when I come to her house, all I do is cry. She said, that's all I do. I just cry at her house. But even with that, I mean, that's my safe space. I can actually go and dump,
Mm,
and I could dump without being judged. And I could dump into a place of being able to say, no, I don't feel like I got it all together. No, I ain't ready. I don't want to do this. I don't want to step up in the front, in the forefront. I'd rather be in the back. I'd rather serve the drinks. I don't want to come and give the word. That's not my passion. But at the same token, sometimes what God will take you from obscurity and thrust you into notoriety. And you got to be ready. So, I mean, at the end of the day, make sure that when you wearing that mask, when you can wipe it off, you're still the same person.
mm-hmm.
You still got the same attitude. You still got the same heart. And I was saying in my message on Sunday, I wore jeans on Sunday, and I would never get in the pulpit with jeans on to preach or even give a word on Sunday, not even use Sunday. But the Holy Ghost had convicted me so bad to the point of I want you clothed in the same thing. So when you leave Florida, you don't change your clothes. You don't take nothing off. And it's not physically taking nothing off, not my physical clothes, but it's just the mindset that I was in leaving Florida. Don't take this off. Don't change nothing. I need you looking the same way when you get back to Atlanta. So I did that. And I mean, honestly, that mindset has not changed. I'm happy that I had the opportunity to go to Florida and be there those days and actually just really be a part of something major because that whole move in Florida was major. Um, but again, I just say, guys, keep starting this week, just keep your journal for 7 days from now until next Thursday. Keep your journal of what's happening in your life. Take some time out to just pray for a minute. If you're standing in need of anything, tug on God for it. Don't just pimp God and use him for whatever, just for the moment because you need something right now. Don't do that. Let him have access to you all the time. Write down, get your Bible. If you don't have a Bible, trust me, everybody got a cell phone. Look up some scriptures, start asking questions about different things and look up, what does the Bible say about this? So that way it'll get you intrigued to read and really want to know a little bit more about what God is doing. But for the next 7 days, like I said, I challenge you to just take a few minutes. It ain't gotta be a long drawn out prayer, but just give God some of your time during the day. Because you got to remember he has given you an entire day and you don't have time for him, but yet you expect something from him, but neglect him. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Girl,
Look, I see we are at our hour marker.
you are popular because every time they call you, it kind of throws you off. That's why I was looking down to make sure you
Hmm.
froze up a little bit, but then you would come back because I was trying to go look and make sure we were still good.
Yeah, my phone keeps ringing. And I hate I had to even come on here on my phone, but my phone is ringing like crazy.
I know.
So,
So and that reminds me that I need to remember if you do have to log in on your phone to put it on do not disturb because that'll
hmm,
from knocking it off. And I think you could still see who called and who texted once you
right.
it off. But so for a young person, just to give steps because this generation, that's why TikTok is so popular because it gives you something 1, 2, 3 within
Hmm.
15 seconds, 30 seconds. So if you could bam, 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 tell a young person, yeah, well, it doesn't even have to be a young person, about peeling back a layer so that
Hmm.
they can start unmasking. I know you say the first step is to read, pull out your Bible, start reading,
So let me just say this:
or
the
journal.
first step is to one acknowledge what your issue is. That is the very first step. What are you struggling with? That's the very first Step. It's just like coming home and you done been out, you done been to the club or wherever you've been, and you want to get undressed. You want to take all this stuff off because now you're tired. The first thing is to acknowledge what am I dealing with? What am I standing in need of? That's the very first step.
Girl, hey, pop out and pop right back in so that we can see you because I just hear you now. You're audible. For me,
Okay.
I don't know about, yeah, pop right. I'm going to stay on and then you pop out and come right back in.
Okay, hang on.
Okay. We're going to get it. Let me say, technology is amazing when it's working, but whoo, child. Sometimes it want to get to cutting up, but it doesn't stop us. We keep going. I just want for these steps to come through clearly, and you can actually see the prophetess as she's telling us what we can do to peel back the layers of that onion and come from out behind the mask. Because I tell you what, there's freedom once you can just take that mask off, be your authentic self, be transparent. There's just nothing like it. There's no reason for us to hide. We do hide for guilt, for shame, for so many different reasons. Low self-esteem, trying to fit in. We've already went over several reasons why we have the mask on, a fear of what people are going to say, so many things. But if you can start to peel back those layers, get to the root cause, and sometimes that's a process, realizing and recognizing where it stems from. Why do I feel like I have to do this? And acknowledging it. So first we have to acknowledge this is what happened, this is why I feel this way, and then that's when the healing process starts. Okay, here she is.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I was saying is like with the steps, the number one step is to basically come in and unmask. Unmask meaning deal with it, whatever issue it is you're dealing with, regardless of how embarrassing it is, how ridiculous you feel it is, whatever it is, deal with it. Stop covering it up, stop putting makeup on it, stop lying about it, stop hiding it. Deal with it first. How do you deal with it? You got to address what it is. You know, address what it is. Why did you get to this place? And you got to be real with yourself. You can't lie, and um continue on with the hidden stuff. And you can't say what people want you to say. You got to say your reality, because your reality is not somebody else's reality. You can't tell me how to feel. You can't tell me this didn't happen to me. You know, you have to really deal with what it is. Number one. Number two, when you write it in plain sight, the words say, write the vision, make it plain. So he that see it can run with it. Write your vision of what you want for your life. Write down, what do you expect? What do you see yourself as? What would you like to see manifest in your life? You know, I mean, as outlandish and as crazy as it sounds, write the vision, write what you want for yourself and how you feel like you're missing the mark, how you could make this happen in your life. And three, get a prayer life. Start praying about it. Lay that thing down. Put it on. It's stickers everywhere. If you want to own a hair salon, you understand. Write that down. Write the name of your prayer salon. I mean, the salon that you have. Write it down. Put it all over the place. Start calling it out. Speak it into the atmosphere and really pray about, Lord, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Just because I see everybody else selling candles, I see people selling candy, I see people selling this, selling that. Is this my lane? Speak to the atmosphere. This is what I want to do. This is my passion. Find what your passion is. Find what you truly like. Whether you like to, you could do something as outlandish as want to be able to go clean old people's house. You know, that's just your passion. That's something that you like to do. Maybe it's not that popular, but there's a need for that. So you need to identify what is it that you want to do and really pray on it. Pray on it. Ask God to show it to you. God, open doors for me. And in the midst of doing all of that, when the doors open, you got to be okay with the warfare that's going to come with it. Because I promise you, it's not a roller coaster. It's not a 1, 2, 3 magic broom. No, because guess what? When you put God on notice that you want to do something, and the enemy is notified that you are in alignment to get your blessing, trust me, he's gonna dispatch his angels, which are demons. And they're gonna do everything to knock you off your path, to make you feel like this was wrong. You shouldn't have went this way. To just kind of to basically suppress your dream or your vision. So you got to be okay with, I got to deal with this and that, and I know hell is coming, but believe this: when the hell comes, that's just your evidence that you're in the right vein. That's just your evidence that the enemy knows that you own to something. Because at the end of the day, if you wasn't on to nothing, he ain't finna bother you. You're no threat to him. I already got you lock, stock, and barrel, so that's fine. So I just say to everybody, you got to identify what's happening with you first. What has you in this place? What makes you feel Why do you feel insecure? What has you depressed? You know, identify your issue. Identify what your issue is. You know, though you, I mean, everybody won't agree that this is an issue for you. You need to get over it. You need to do this and you need to do that. But at the end of the day, nobody's in your feelings but you. So we got to get from a place of letting people dictate how we respond, how we act. You know, like I said, people grieve differently. You know, people grieve for a loss of a loved one. People grieve over divorces. People grieve over separations. People grieve over just whatever. Who am I to tell you you should be over this? You should have moved past this. You know, I can't move past it because I ain't dealt with it. I haven't dealt with it yet. So, you know, regardless of how much time has passed, you can't tell me how to grieve over this. You know, and the saddest part, I could say this, my mother been dead 19 years. But in the 19 years that my mother's been dead, I don't think that I fully processed that my mother's deceased because I didn't celebrate Mother's Day for a very long time. I didn't because I didn't feel that there was a need to celebrate Mother's Day. My mother was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom, but I didn't allow my children to celebrate me, so I took that from them. You know, but I had to come to terms with, listen, you got to take what she gave you and you got to get up and move forward because you have children. Your life didn't stop when your mom died. Your life didn't stop when your dad died. And now, honestly, with my daddy, honey, I thought they was just going to lay me on in the casket with him because there's nothing else to live for. My dad is dead. You still got two children. You still got a whole life ahead of you. You know, so we gotta be mindful of how we move and what we say in this season. And like you even said, we gotta be mindful of even the words that we say in the atmosphere. Because if you always spewing out negativity, that's basically the atmosphere that you've created. I can't,
Mm-hmm.
I won't, I never will. You know, so just, you know, moving forward, just make sure you are speaking positive over your own life. You don't need a prophet to come and lay their hands. You don't need them to slay you in oil to look like you ready to be fried like chicken. You don't need that. You don't need that. Yeah, it helps, but at the same token, God has given you the ability to speak over your own life. You know, so get up and command your day, command your destiny, you know, and get moving. You can't just say, I'm going to be a millionaire, but yes, you don't want to put the work in to be a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire, but what are you doing to be a millionaire? It's not going to just fall in your lap. This is not abracadabra. This ain't magic. This you got to work to get what you want. Trust me, I'm sure it's plenty of days, Celena, you get on here and don't feel like it, don't even want to be on here. But guess what? You got the drive to get up and get on here because this is your passion. Some days you want to say the show canceled today. I don't want to be bothered.
Woo!
Right or wrong.
Yes, you're so right.
But you understand what it takes to be successful. You understand it takes work. You understand it takes you being in the right posture, in the right position, in the right place for things to light up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not in the right place, suppose the right opportunity shows up, but you was out of line. You was at the wrong address when the opportunity came.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity passed you by.
And like, I just want to say, I know that a lot of times we're speaking life over other people. Um, we have to pull it back sometimes and remember we got to put the oxygen on ourselves first before we put the oxygen on someone else because you can't help the other person until you help yourself. So we do have to put that out there that yes, you are in ministry. Yes, we all have a purpose and people that are assigned to us, but we're our own assignment first. Like we have to take care of us in order to be able to take care of others. And as women, we are nurturers. Nurturers.
Hmm.
That country song don't want to work. But we're caretakers and we want to look after and be there for everyone else. But in order for you to be successful and bring other people along with you, you have to take care of your business first. And it's okay to put rest and sleep on your schedule
Hmm.
and be led. Am I supposed to rest right now? Because I know you said you don't want to miss the call. And that's true. You don't want to miss the call, but you can't be there if you haven't gotten your rest. And then you have a
Right.
deficit and your family needs you, but you're so tired because you've been doing this, that, and like you say, the third, that you have nothing left for you or your family. And so, we do have to be mindful of that whenever we're pressing and moving forward and losing sleep and all of this kind of stuff. That, hey, okay, I got to come back to my senses and I got to get it together. So
Yeah,
I
you
just
said a
felt
mouthful when you said that, because honestly, we neglect us so much that
neglect.
we give, and like I said, we put on this face and this mask as if everything is okay. But and the saddest part about it is with us giving and taking and doing and just really trying to make sure that everybody is good. We never get it reciprocated back to us. Nobody reaches back to say, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" That whole mindset is, "Oh, you good? She good? She
She
good?
good.
She able to show up for somebody else. She good. She don't need to be refueled. She don't need no energy. She good." And but that's not the case. We need to be able to say, "Hey, I need some me time. I need to just unplug from everything, and I need to be recharged because I'm no good to you if I'm running on an empty battery."
Right, right.
So, but yeah, we good. We good. And like I said, I see we went over our hour, but um, y'all
Girl,
keep
we don't have no,
well,
it don't even be like that over here.
look, y'all keep looking for coffee and conversation with Celena. I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait. I can't wait. This needs to manifest before the year's out because you got a nation to reach. You got a nation to reach.
Honey, you do too. I can't wait to see what's about to happen with you. Like, I feel like the same thing that the lady told us at the retreat, when it's going forth, you grab it too. So you may have been speaking over me, but it fell on your ears as well.
Yes,
And so,
ma'am.
it's about to happen, and we can encourage one another and network together. Like you said, we're so fearful. We don't
Mhm.
want to tell anybody anything. We want to try to keep it all a secret, and we want to move up. I remember this one lady, it seemed like she had information of how I could grow. And I remember the man of God had told me, he said, somebody tried to get to you. They asked about you to a friend, and the friend just kind of shut it down. So they blocked you, but it's okay because you're going to get that opportunity again. And so I wasn't discouraged. The flesh in me kind of said, I wonder who that was. And then I said, why would you even put that energy over there? It doesn't matter, because your time is going to come. Like you said, when you see me moving up, when you see my name, you just know I waited my turn.
Waited my
Even
turn.
though, even though someone connected to me blocked that, I said, it's okay. That wasn't meant for me. And if it is, it'll come back around because what's for me
With
is
them,
for me.
you're right. What's for you is for you. And even with them blocking that, thank God that they blocked it because you could have ruined it early. Had you got it early, you could have ruined
Mhm.
it. You could have spoiled what was on it because you wasn't mature enough to handle it. And sometimes you got to go through the process of just being able to say, I'm good with, no, it's not my time. No, it's not my time to be in the limelight. Maybe I'm still in the background and I'm being cultivated in the background. Every time that something is growing, it's not always thrust under the light. Everything actually comes from under the soil. So it's the hidden place. So thank God for being in the hidden place, because even with you in the hidden place, it's not like the birds are gonna come and eat the fruit up, because the fruit is not above the soil. So ain't many animals gonna dig for the watermelon. You understand? Ain't many animals gonna dig for the vegetables. They waiting for the vegetables to come up. They waiting for the vegetables to come forth above the ground. So while you're under the soil being cultivated, you understand, we have the different vegetables that come up early. And when they come up early, they rot early. So they're not of no use. So who knows? God delayed you because, hey, this ain't your time to come up yet. You got to sit back, wait your turn. You got to sit back. This ain't your time yet. You're not ripe enough yet. The opportunity came, but this wasn't the one that I had for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
because like you say, when it's something for you, at the same token, not a devil in hell can stop it from getting to you. Yeah, the opportunity was there, but you don't even know what came with that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Did somebody want to come and change the direction of your show? Was somebody coming and try to basically make you a puppet to them because I invested in you, but I'm not vested in you? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Say
it
that
just
one
got to
more
be.
time, girl. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
I invested in you, but I'm
Yeah.
not vested in you. That means I
Mm-hmm.
spent my money with you to get this show going, but I'm not vested. I don't have anything to do with this show other than the to say that I put my name on this, to get next to you, to stand in the spotlight with you because I spent my money here. I don't care what you talk about. As long as it brings me a revenue from this, as long as I can hear people say, well, because of me. But the truth is, you're not vested in my dream. You're not vested in where I'm going. You invested, but you're not vested.
Girl, haunting.
So yeah, it's cool. And like I say, be mindful of people that come and want to sow into you, and thank God for those that sow seeds. But even when you sow seeds, be mindful of the seeds that are sown, because sometimes people plant poison ivy. Sometimes people will plant poison ivy in the rose bush. So just be mindful of all of that. Like in this season, you got to make sure that you got your ears and your eyes open, and you're looking at your discernment is on 100. And whatever, whenever somebody sends something to you, just tell God, Lord, whatever this is meant to do, let it fall on good ground. And if the enemy sent it, we send it back to the pits of hell. Thank you anyway.
Thank you, but no thanks.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the person that was asking if I am in Georgia, yes, I am in Georgia. I actually be in Georgia for the next 2 weeks. I think. I think for the next 2 weeks I'll be in Georgia, and then after that I'll be between Virginia and Florida. Just because, like I said, we have several different ministries that we are uh, a part of, and we have like a network connection. So you have my information. Hit me in the inbox, but definitely I'm looking to make a bunch of different connections, but I'm looking to make kingdom connections. I ain't looking for no friends, because at the end of the day, it's just that I ain't looking for a gossip buddy. I ain't looking for none of that. I'm looking for somebody that's willing to get some kingdom work done with me. I'm looking for a battle buddy that's gonna fight through the warfare with me, to see things manifest, see things come up. We have Cafe NLI tonight, and our Cafe New Life tonight is basically our Petersburg location. I mean, our Clewiston location. The Florida location is actually feeding tonight. Um, they're feeding spaghetti dinners tonight. And moving forward, we're going to try to help the families, to feed the families on Thursday night. And not only are we going to give them natural food, we're going to give them spiritual food too. And this
Mm-hmm.
helps with the community costs, because where the church is a little city called Moore Haven. Moore Haven is about the size of Poplarville. So it's not that many people there. But at the same token, if you make an impact on the community will rally with you no matter what, especially if, the work is getting done and they can actually see, a difference with the whole, with the church being there. This is not a church just to come for everybody to shout and pull up in a Rolls Royce and, all of that. This ain't that type of church. This is a church that's willing to get in the trenches with the community, get stuff done in the community, and make sure that the people are fed, So we started the Cafe New Life tonight. And like I said, I'll be in between the different locations, in the coming weeks, because it's a lot of work that need to be done, and I'm only doing that until our Georgia location is completely
Man, she is busy. That phone been going off, and so it's done cut her off again. She may go out and come back in. Whew, y'all, that was a lot to eat. She's talking about they go out and feed the community in Florida. Man, that's been a feeding tonight. I hope y'all leave away from conversations with Celena well fed, knowing what it is that you need to go out and do to get from behind the mask and be your most authentic self. Because there's nothing like being true to yourself. And it has been great I'm gonna see if she pops back in because I don't want to close it out um, before her closing words. But this has been good to me. That's all I could say. I've been over here, whoo, whoo, catching it, catching it. Um, there she is.
Sorry, guys. My internet really wants to act a fool tonight.
Between the internet and the calls, hon, see, I see what you're talking about. They've been blowing your phone up all
Yeah.
night. We know next time, put on do not disturb
Yeah.
for
And
this.
hopefully next time we'll definitely be on my computer because this is not it.
But you've been doing great. Like we press on, but beyond the technical difficulties, we just keep on going.
Yeah. But again, like I said, I'll be in between the different locations until Georgia comes up, and then when Georgia come up, then I'll really kind of be stationary here to Georgia. Honestly, I don't know who the pastor is going to be here for Georgia. I don't know if I'm going to be the pastor here for Georgia. Whatever it is, I just stand in obedience to say, God, okay, I'm whatever, whatever you say, fine. So it's a lot of stuff that need to be done. It's a lot of spaces that need to be reached. And even with Picayune, I really want to partner up with some of the ladies like Vinny and all of them. I seen Tracy on here, hey classmate. I seen, I want to partner with some of these ladies. So let's just reach out to the young ladies that are there in Picayune, and let's just have a conversation with the teenagers. Let's talk about the stuff that they're dealing with, the stuff that we never had to even worry about. I mean, we don't know the mental aspect of, dealing with different stuff, what the kids are dealing with now. This is a completely different generation.
It is.
That the stuff that they deal with, we had an inkling about. Honey, we was writing phone numbers down on paper and calling you from the house phone, and they didn't got the just, it's just kind of like they done been exposed to so much so fast, but it's just the word fulfilling itself. Each generation gets weaker but wiser. So technology wise, they smart as heck, but when it comes to actually being able to um,
Go
deal with
through.
stuff in real life, they don't have it.
Because it's a virtual world and it's all just
They
like
don't have social skills. They don't have any of that, but they don't have that because the world doesn't require that now.
can't even sign their name on anything because they're not writing in cursive anymore. So
I think that is so crazy. Kids don't know how to write in cursive.
they don't know.
I think that is so crazy. Kids don't know how to write in cursive. I tell you what, you see that doggone Miss Ola Mae Robinson, baby, that lady, if that paper was messy, she would tear them hands up. Do you hear me? Between her
Mm-hmm.
and Miss Minnie Etheridge, those two black ladies that was in Picayune school system, them ladies didn't play. You ain't finna come in here writing any kind of way. You ain't finna come in here with this serial killer handwriting, and you're gonna know how to write in cursive when you leave out of here.
It's not taught anymore.
Yeah, that I think that's ridiculous. But again, that's just people moving away from the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, we'll get a chance to connect again. I look forward to actually the next time I come on the Celena show, I'll be with Coffee and Conversation with Celena. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to coming to Picayune for that because I will not be virtual. Won't nobody be calling this good phone.
we have it. Look, I already got my mug. You see it?
Come on, boo.
Eyes ready, girl. I gotta get this one remade because it says Saturdays at 8, and I think I changed it to 7 so that like and when you're in Georgia, it'll be a good time. Y'all won't already be asleep over there on me.
Gotcha.
But did you
Yeah,
notice we got the same color on and we didn't even plan that
I
like that?
know. Look, I know.
I noticed that. I was like, look at us. We imagined didn't even plan it like that.
But yeah, this is gonna be something good. And like I said, I thank you for the opportunity to actually come on your show and actually be a part of this show because this is something major that I could say. I was in this when this was in the incubator. I got a chance to even see it in the making. This
Yes,
is cool.
infancy stage. And we say all the time, don't despise small beginnings. And our energy is going toward the people that are supporting us. And I hear
Mhm.
so often, where people are talking about their haters and they give their haters so much attention. I have to say, even I was guilty like last week, but probably for the past 2 weeks, it's like I've been like under attack. And so I've been saying, I can't believe they did this and I can't believe they did that. And that betrayal, it hurts. But you can't give people that type of control over you. You just have to say, you know what? It's to be expected. It's to be expected out of people that they're gonna say things behind your back. They're gonna tell things that are not true about you. But you
Mhm.
just have to know who you are, do what I said, put them shoulders back, put that head up, and you keep on moving
Keep it
forward.
moving.
Get caught up in those distractions because they're going to come. And so you're also being tested at that time of how you're going to respond. I said, Lord, did I fail again? Because, girl, I was over here. I can't believe it. I was like,
But again, you got to remember, this is your evidence that something is happening. This is your proof that God is doing something new in you. There's a work that's about to take place, that the warfare is going to come. Because you got to remember, when God opens the door, not only does the door open from God, but the enemy sends more demons to attack what God has dispatched for you. So don't get in your feelings. You just tell God, thank you. You push through it. It don't feel good some days, and I just said this on the prayer call the other morning. We get in the ring, we get beat down. You get your eye black, your teeth knocked out, your lip busted, all of that. But in the midst of all of that, don't get out the ring because the fight is fixed. Don't get out the ring because the fight is fixed. She running the little the ticker at the bottom for the prayer call. We get on this prayer call Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I mean, I'm at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Time. We normally go for an hour. It's according to if they open up the prayer call for praise reports and prayer requests. But generally we try to keep it to an hour so that way this is people's spiritual vitamin going to work in the morning, or even just getting up, getting your day started. Just turn it on, let it play. And even as they're praying, they may it start interceding for something that you need. People come to the prayer call and need something, and they ask for the very thing that you stand in need of. So just I mean, hey, come to the prayer call. I tag it every day. I get up in the morning, I get on it faithfully. I've been on this prayer call for 7.5 years. Like I said, this prayer call started with two people, me and the apostle, that was only supposed to be a week. But when God is in the midst of something, you don't know what's going to birth out of it. And even coming to this prayer call, you don't know what it's going to do. I could truly say, not just because I'm on the prayer call, but I have watched this prayer call birth so much stuff, and I've seen it. You get what you need. You get results in this prayer portal. And I'm not saying that there's no magic here in this prayer portal, and we got a secret line to God, because it's nothing about me and none of the intercessors in there. We don't take no glory from God. We don't. Because everything that happens in there is by way of God, not us. So I just say, come to this portal, get results, trust and believe the process. Even with the warfare with you, this is just temporary, and that's your evidence that something major is on the horizon.
wow, wow, wow. Oh, Lord. That was a lot. Listen, I'm going back. I don't usually go back and listen to them because, we constantly be moving forward on to the next episode. But I'm going to go to sleep to this one tonight because I wanted to seep down into my spirit so that when I get up and I go forth, I'm ready and I'm prepared. Like you said, it was blocked before
Mhm.
because I wasn't ready. Because if it's meant
Right.
for me, it was going to be for me. And it may just that same person might come back around, but this time I do want to be in position when it's my time. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's my time, it's my season, and let me have that. But so often people they get jealous hearted, I guess. They get in their feelings because they feel like, why did you get it? And a lot of times people say, well, favor ain't fair. And but it's your time. You put the work in. And so if you put the work in, because she's given us the steps, not just me, us. And when she's speaking, it's not just to us, it's we, her as well. We have to put the work in. We have to follow these steps in order to get these results. And success looks different for all of us because if her vision, when she write it down, it's going to look different than mine. So I can't say that she wasn't successful just because it doesn't look like I thought it was supposed to look, because her vision, she wrote it down, she made it plain. And when she's doing the steps to get to that, then you can consider that a success. She can consider that a success. But like I said, success does look different for all of us. And so you have to write down your vision. You have to make it plain for you. And then that way you won't be looking in somebody else's lane, getting distracted, being jealous, being upset because they got something that you didn't. Well, is it on your notebook? Because what you got in your notebook is for you. And so you can't worry about what's in somebody else's
Don't
notebook.
get in somebody else's lane.
Don't get in somebody else's lane. Just point blank period. That's what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say.
Yeah. But again, I look forward to the conversations and coffee with Celena. This is going to be amazing. I challenge the leaders that are even watching this, whether you're in Picayune, Mississippi, or you in Florida, Virginia, California, wherever you are, get to the little bitty city of Picayune. We're going to set this thing up, and this is going to be major, but this is going to be something that will bless a nation. This ain't just for that city. This is for a nation, and this is food for thought. So that way we can sit as leaders and talk about what we can do to improve the quality of life for our young ladies that's coming behind us, and to improve the mindset of the young ladies that's coming behind us. Because honestly, we've so often got lost in we trying to be the strong, powerful Black woman. And there's nothing wrong with being that, but at the same token, you got to be able to be submissive and submissive to something and somebody. Because when you don't have any direction at this point, you're just rogue. And that's never what you want to be. And that's kind of the reason why we all get the stereotype of the angry Black woman. It's not that we angry. No, we don't get treated equally. We don't get treated fairly. We don't. But at the same token, the job is not our provider. You understand? The whatever people do to try to suppress us, that doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, what's for you is for you. And you got to know with an assurance what's for you is for you. But at the same token, you got to understand you are not the head. You're not the head. And then in this season, we won't be the lender. I mean, we won't be the borrower, but we'll be the lender. We the head and not the tail. It's it's crazy, but this is going to be phenomenal. Sunshine, you glowing. Go ahead, girl.
Not the pregnancy glow. I,
Oh, come on, baby.
Ooh, that girl a mess. Thank you,
Yeah,
Shauna. But yes, that is. I'm excited. I'm
yeah.
just like blown away by the words, the prophetic words that the Lord has given you, just to pour out over not just conversations with Celena, not just coffee with conversations with Celena, but
Hmm.
over the young women, over your ministry, over the feeding that's happening in Florida.
Hmm.
It's just been an amazing night. But I spoke that
You
before we
did.
got started. You better get ready. And even though the internet kept trying to throw us off, the phone calls kept trying to be a distraction, the word still went forth. And so I'm
Still
super,
went forth.
it still went forward. If the video went out, the audio should still be there. And I'm going to download it as soon as we get finished to Spotify, Apple,
Hmm.
Google. It's another one that I'm on too, but just go
You
look
too.
for it and you can listen to this in the car. You can receive it. You can know the steps that you need to take to peel away the layers of the onion, to peel away that mask and walk in your truth. And it's nothing like it, because there's freedom in that truth. There's peace in that truth, because there's no more guilt or shame. And is it a process? Yes. So don't get it twisted like you just peel it off and that's a done deal. But follow those steps so that you can begin the process
Right.
of living life beyond that mask. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So thank you all so much. I'm going to close it out because she is frozen again, but it's okay because we got that word. So you all keep it smiling, sunshine. Go out, share a smile, spread some sunshine. And listen, don't forget to go over and sign up for the Femininity Brunch and Care by our lovely sponsor, Jalecia Richard. She's amazing. You don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So you all have a great night, and we will see you again soon. Mwah. Keep it smiling, sunshine.